So let's talk about the Antichrist coming out of the sea. Okay, so the dragon stood on the shore of the sea. There's that red dragon, right? That ancient serpent, the devil, right? The red dragon who they serve, who will show them the way. Because we know Jesus is the only way, right? All right, so the dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads. So that's interesting. So you got your 10 horns, which represents those 10 leaders, Mr. O perhaps, Mr. T, etc., Schwabe or whoever else they're going to put in charge of things, Macron. Then you got 7 heads, which that might even represent the previous 7 Chuckies. We know that represents the 7 hills and so forth, but we saw in the other verse that those 7 hills were actually 7 kings that once were and now are not, and so forth, right? So you could argue that that could also be representative of that. Then we see the beast resembled a leopard, had feet like a bear, mouth like a lion. Well, the lion is Britain. The bear, that's actually in his name. We saw that. And the leopard, we've talked about that before in the other videos. Okay, so basically, it says he came out of the sea, that's where the beast came from. Well, that's kind of curious because apparently the Muslims believe this as well about the Mahdi, which will be the Antichrist, but that'll be their Mahdi, like their Messiah, who they'll be deceived, that they believe he comes from Tarshish, or what they believe Tarshish to be Britain. And then he comes out of the sea because when you look at Britain, what is Britain? Britain is a little island in the sea, right? This little area here, this little green area, it's not surrounded by other land masses. It's not like he's coming from Bulgaria or something, or coming from Poland or some inner country that's surrounded by land. No, he's coming from a coastlands. He's coming from the sea. He's coming from a place where he literally has to travel over the sea to get anywhere. So for him to rule and reign anywhere, he literally has to take a boat or fly and get past the sea. So he's literally coming from the sea here. You could argue when he comes from the UK, and other places, other people wouldn't necessarily be able to make that argument coming out of the sea. So you could argue that he's coming out of the sea in that sense because he has to come by sea to go anywhere for his rule, for his kingdom, which is so crazy. Such a small little place having such dominion, right?